Morning. So we're in the new house. To be fair, everything was quite straightforward apart from Toronto. I'll show you one of the video clips, but when we landed in Toronto, we had to walk about 2 miles to get to passport control. And as you finally got to the place to take you down to the floor where passport control was, there was 2 escalators. One of them wasn't working, another one was, so most people were congregating on the escalator that worked. So Chris and I got down, but you could sort of preempt what was happening. It was getting completely bottlenecked at the bottom because it was in like a small room that led through one door to get to passport control. So we kind of scrambled to get the kids off the escalator, managed to pull them round the side, and Chris sort of grabbed the security guard and trying to explain what was happening and how dangerous it was becoming because everybody was getting blocked up and couldn't get off the escalator while it was still continuing to move. We couldn't find the emergency stop button. I don't know if it was a language barrier on the security guard's part or if it was the accent, but they weren't listening to what Chris was saying, so I kind of just brass-necked it, but I'm glad I did in the end up and just started shouting, move forward, everybody move forward, and signalling to them. At the time, Chris was a bit like, oh my God, absolute brass neck, like calm down. But I'm so glad I did because you could hear people in the background starting to like get panicked, and there was people shouting because they couldn't obviously get off the escalator. There was a lady with a stick and a few elderly people. It could have been like a lot worse than it was. So yeah, I was laughing because one Canadian woman was like, it takes somebody with balls to do something like that, and we're glad that you're here and everything like that. So yeah, that was like the sort of funny but not funny story of the journey into Toronto. So it wasn't the best welcome. Once we got through, it was like a cattle market, like so busy to get through at passport control, and it was those electronic ones where you had to help yourself. Not a lot of staff to give guidance, which I thought was a bit rubbish from like the elderly perspective, because obviously they're not like tech minded like we are. It didn't work for mine anyway, so when we got through we had to get checked again at immigration, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, if you're going to Toronto, try to not get there at a busy time. They did obviously switch the escalator off after that to save any accidents happening, which I'm glad they did. Chris had flown to Toronto before when he first went over, and he got, I think it was an earlier or a later flight, and he said it was not as busy as that. So there was obviously a lot of flights coming through at the same time. Yeah, so that was our first experience of coming into Toronto.